With the home arcade competition heating up, will Media1Up be the one to deal the death blow to Arcade1up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week at home arcades. It's episode 169. No funny jokes, guys. It's just a number. Don't think about it too hard. Episode 169. Man, almost 170 episodes and about to close out the year. This is the fifth year of doing the show and having a just a great time. And you know what that means? We're in December. We're in the middle of December. So the week of Christmas tends to be a streamathon. But I got to say that this year is going to be no exception. So this year I should be in town the whole week and we're going to stream like crazy. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to wrap up the year. We're going to talk about the stuff we didn't like, what we were looking forward to in the next year. A lot of deep cuts, a lot of deep dives, a lot of conversation with you. You'll have your chance to share your opinions on a multitude of stuff. And it's not just one up anymore. So it's kind of exciting. It's kind of a fun time. You know, it could be depressing, could be sad for some, but it's definitely going to be, I think it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. We have new stuff coming out and hopefully it's going to be pretty good. We actually had some stuff come out and I got my hands on it finally, all the stuff that I pre-ordered. And just like you, it finally showed up, right? And it all kind of came together at once. So I had a lot of unboxing videos to get to. I don't normally like to stack them that deep, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? I had a stack of boxes I had to get through. A lot of Evercade love for sure. Going to talk about that for a little bit. Some new wave toys stuff finally came in. Lots to talk about when it comes to that, but there's other things we got to talk about. Like every week, we have a poll question that you get to participate in. Every single week, we do it. It's in the chat right now. Click on, if you head on over to the chat, if you're watching this on YouTube, the question is simply this. This is the one I'm posing to you today. What does Media1Up, or really any other home arcade community, not just Media1Up, we're going to talk about them in some detail tonight, but really any home arcade community, what do they need to bring to market to make the most impact? So this is like, so if they had just one thing, right? One thing, bring it out. What would make the biggest impact? Vote right now. You got 4 different options. Bar top. So they could be countertop, like a countercade. It could be like the, oh geez, what are the other ones even called? The partycades, right? Anything. It's whatever, something like that. So do you think that they need to come out with that and to make the most impact? Or like a 3/4 scale device. I listed 17-inch monitor to kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking about. I'm not going to restrict that to risers or no risers or deluxe, just really anything. Anybody could come out with something new. Would that be something that you think would make the biggest splash in the home arcade community? Or maybe XL, that 19-inch monitor, that slightly smaller physical form factor, kind of that sweet spot. A lot of people really like that. Is that something that we need to have? Or maybe does somebody just need to come out with something full size? We've had Unico do something similar with the candy cap form factor. Do we need the full size? Is the full size the only way to make the biggest impact? Let your voice be heard. Jump up there. I got 54 votes. Everybody, I want to know what you're really thinking. And this is as pretty much as generic as possible, as generic as I wanted to make it. I don't want to get too specific and get bogged down into one specific company doing what is. No, I'm just talking about 2025. Somebody comes out with something, anybody, anything, what would make the biggest impact? What would you be the most excited about, purchasing or hearing about or seeing? Let me know. Vote, vote, vote. This is going to be a big one. We're going to obviously, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I was slacking. I didn't post the results of the poll, but this week I'm definitely going to make sure that I capture this and I'll put this on my YouTube channel, the community tab, so everybody can see exactly where the community falls as far as what they are looking forward to. What do they want to see more of? Speaking of stuff you want to see more of, you want to know what I'm drinking tonight? I'm going to disappoint the hell out of you. So I didn't buy bourbon. Listen, I'm working. We're trying to cram a bunch of projects in. I'm traveling all over not the planet, but all over the country. And I just don't have a ton of time. I'm also trying to do unboxing videos. I sold a couple cabinets this week too. I'm saying all this because you're going to really be disappointed when you see what I'm drinking. But I sold a couple cabinets. I sold, so Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the Project Deluxe cabinet is gone. Also, Die Hard, the full-size arcade, is gone. Making room for something. What is that? Well, if you're part of the members, if you're on the members only live stream, we talk about this in some detail. Tonight, I'm going to be giving everybody, all my members are going to get kind of an update on where we're at on that. If you want to become a member, just smash the join button down below. It's only $5 a month to be a part of the members only, the members of this community. Now back to the disappointing thing in my glass. It's eggnog. I'm sorry. I know this is really sad. I got so caught up in what was going on, and I had family come over today and wrapping Christmas presents, and it's all kind of fun stuff, right? Doing some yard work, and I completely forgot about buying something to drink. So I forgot. Sorry, but cheers. Hey, it is the season, right? You know. Reminds me of my favorite eggnog scene in the movie. You know. Christmas Vacation, you know, he's talking about Cousin Eddie. Want me to refill your glass for you? Drive you somewhere out in the middle of nowhere and leave you for dead? No, Clark, I'm good. Just happy to be here. Chevy Chase. Just think about that if you're forced to drink eggnog. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I promise you, next week, it's going to be way better than this. Because I'm missing a week. That means I can buy some really good stuff. Will it be Basil Hayden toast? Perhaps. Maybe something different. But anyway, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. You know what? I'm just going to start saying it. I'm excited about I love this part of the year. Love this part of the year because some of my stuff comes in. I get to unbox it and talk about it. But family comes together. We get to give gifts. We get to spend time together. It's just a ton of fun. And it's also time to reflect on the year and what we had and what we're going to look forward to in 2025. A lot to look forward to. But right now, you know what I'm looking forward to the most of all? Is saying hi to you. The top 10, the first 10 comments every night we go through this, or every week we go through this. Also, going through those first 10 comments. It's not the top 10. These are just the first 10. Want to say hi to the first 10. Give a special shout out. These are the troopers. These are the dedicated followers that are waiting for me to drop the link. And as soon as I drop it, they're on the ball. They are all over it. Coming in number one, the coveted number one spot is Huge Success Guild. Thank you so much for being the number one commented tonight, buddy. Good to see you as always. Woo! Happy Sunday, Fox. Looking forward to the show. Thank you, sir, and I'm glad you're here. Coming in the number 2 spot is Dan Z. What's going on, buddy? 19K Fox. Good to see you back. Yes, I'm back. Last week, had to miss out. Not today. Not today. Not this time. Coming in the number 3 spot is Show Gecko. What's going on, buddy? Faux Show. Good to see you. Hello, Fox. Hello, folks. Fox, are you ever going to soft mod your Marvel Countercade or your T2? I don't think the Countercade will be soft modding. I think I'll leave that one alone. It's kind of weird, but it's become somewhat of a rarity. I think the most rare Countercade is obviously the Steve Aoki, 2-player Street Fighter. That was 1 of 30, super rare. I recently found out that John D doesn't even have one. It's sad. It's all very sad. So that would be the most rare, but probably a little more sought after. Sought after is probably going to be the 2-player TMNT Countercade. That's probably a little bit more, sought after, a little bit more rare, I guess. But yeah, the Marvel superheroes, because it had Punisher, it was a step above the 3/4 scale cabinet that they had Punisher, because it had I think a better mix of games. So I think I'm probably going to leave it alone. It will stand as a testament to Arcade1up's, like the pinnacle of Countercades, the best they ever got. Sad, sad for sure. I think I'm probably going to swap out the buttons maybe, but I'm probably going to leave it alone for the most part. Now, T2, on the other hand, I still have my T2. Everybody knows I love it. I paid way too much for it. I've said that before too, but I dig it. It still gets a ton of play because it's my only shooter cabinet in the entire arcade, which is sad. I got to fix that very soon. Will I soft mod that? Yes. I want to have a very limited selection of games on it. I really would just be happy if it just had like maybe 4 or 5 games on it. I mean, I wish that Arcade1up would have come out with T2 and Revolution X, but that's probably the licensing. I can't even imagine what that would be. Getting Aerosmith on board. Of course, Aerosmith are not doing too much lately. Maybe that license is something that we could see in the future. That would be great. But T2, yes, I'm probably going to do. So I've done some modding on it. I'm going to start with the 19-inch monitor. I got to do that upgrade from Buy Stuff. They have great kits. I'm going to do one of those. And then, yeah, I'm going to soft mod it, but with a very very few games. I don't want a ton of stuff on there. I don't want a huge multicade. Who would want that? All those games. I don't know. There's something wrong with me. Coming in number 4 spot is JR. What's going on, buddy? Hey, everyone. Good to see you as always. Mad Gear Arcade is number 5 tonight. In John D, we trust. Well, let's hope. Let's hope he can do something, right? or anything at all. Coming in the number 6 spot is Milkman Classic. What's up, Fox? Happy Sunday. Wasn't John D leaving the death blow for Arcade1up anyway? I think him leaving was absolutely the death blow. So it was a self-inflicted wound. Is that what you're saying? Arcade1up did this to themselves? You might be onto something there. Absolutely. The best moderator in the biz is coming in the number 7 spot. Jason, good day, Fox. Glad you're back and hope you're staying warm, bro. Today was phenomenal. So when I got back on Thursday night / Friday morning, it was a long-ass drive. It was 19 degrees here. Today, like 55 and sunny. It was gorgeous. Went outside, picking up sticks and just kind of enjoying the weather. It was nice. Had somebody come pick up Die Hard today. Perfect weather for that. So that was incredibly awesome. So yeah, I'm staying warm and loving life. Coming in the number 8 spot is Angelo P. My brother, what is going on, buddy? Always good to see you supporting the channel. Good evening, Fox and chat. How excited should we be what Media1Up will be announcing at CES this year? Here's the only caveat I can say. I'm excited because the rumor is they're going to be there. But rumors are, nothing's official until it's official. And even then, it might not even be official. That is the rumor that I have prescribed to. And I have a good feeling that they're going to be there. But they are not on the vendor list. So I don't know. So maybe my prediction could be wrong. Maybe the rumors are all wrong. I have no idea. Do I know more than I'm laying on? No, not at all. Coming in the number 9 spot is Game Broker 84. Happy Sunday, Fox. Good to see you back this week. Hope your trip wasn't too bad. It was okay. It wasn't bad. Can't wait for the show tonight. Thank you as always. And coming in the number 10 spot is Jay. Jay, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the Evercade Alpha, the Evercade EXP-R. What? We'll talk about that tonight. As for Unico, I'm sure to be focused on fighting, brawling games, which is John D's fave. That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We got so many other people stopping by, saying hi, leaving super chats. This one is $5. Kevin Clausen coming in clutch, as always, with the $5 super chat. Happy Sunday. You know what it is about this show that I can't stand? What gets under my skin, bothers me deeply? Nothing. That's why I tuned in. Thank you so much for your belated comment, your compliment. Yeah, I was worried. I was touch and go there for a second. But I'm glad to see you come around and put a positive spin on it. And unfortunately, there is no positive spin on the end of this because you know where you're going, to the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
We also got Frank D here. Kevin Clausen bringing up some touchy subjects here. Bengals versus Cowboys. 19K Fox's head versus 19K Fox's heart. JJ's in the chat dropping the knowledge. Hey, listen, you know what who's Fox is gonna cheer for? Dallas. Sorry. It is true. Arcade Davis here. Sir Sega is here. Thumper Squid, what's going on, buddy? Moeller Medic. Always lovely. Always loving seeing you in the chat, brother. Fourth Horseman. We got Gramps Arcade. How the hell are you? Good to see you. We want XLs, says Gaga Guy 88. What's going on, buddy? Big B73, what's up? Israel Gaming is also in the house. John J. Rambo, good to see you. Always good to see you, buddy. Don't get mad. It's okay. Everybody's happy. Chris Ford is also here. We got Dark Cake. We got old Muller Medic, member for 4 months. Speaking of episode 169, leads to many more 69s. That's right. The great thing about episode 169 is that it will lead to more 69s. So there's that. Thank you so much for being a member as always. Cornercade's here. What's going on, buddy? King Midas, MSU Rich. Who else we got? Scroll down here. I think it's probably everybody so far. B Kirby, what's going on, buddy? The Chicago Arcade guy. What's going on, fella? Good to see you. I think we got everybody. Jay Mason, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on? It's possible, but no download. I'm sure there was answering to good 19K Unico in the house. What's going on, buddy? Always good to see you. Talking about you just a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. What? What is this? Is this an exclusive? We will be at CES having meetings and interviews. Maybe I'll get to stop by and say hi to my good buddy, Jay Mason. Snow Doves, my brother, how the hell are you? Always good to see you. Miss G is also here. Jim Pacer fan, Stock Jock And I think we're all caught up. Okay, everybody. So make sure you go ahead, jump up there, vote in tonight's poll question. I really want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're drinking. Get ready for some good discussion. Let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. It's kind of the only topic tonight. I got you. Trapped you. We want to talk about some of the stuff that happened over the last couple weeks. I want to go into a little bit more detail and answer any questions that you may have about a couple of the things that I unboxed. Mystery Encoder, what's going on, buddy? Who cares? Scene is dead. It's evident if you look behind 19K Fox. There's now you wait just a damn minute. If you look, you'll have to squint. Okay, if you look, you do that, you'll see. Point taken. 3/4 scale. It's on the ropes. But is this one of those fixed fights? Like Mike Tyson, Jake Paul? Somebody is like some weird come from behind win, or maybe it's like a stalemate? Point well taken. Hurts a little bit, but I'll take it. So let's talk about some of the stuff that I unboxed this week. I want to talk about the strides that Evercade made. Really, Evercade kind of making a splash as far as the arcade scene is concerned in a way. So let's back up. Let's talk about some of the cartridges, some of the things that they've done to bring some of that arcade representation back to your home. So if you don't know, Evercade, they have a bunch of cartridges. That's kind of their thing. That's what they're known for. And they have devices that play their cartridges. They have portable devices. They have set-top boxes you can plug into an HDMI TV. Now they have the Alpha, which is something we'll talk about in a minute. But those, if you notice, there's like 3 different colors of the, not the cartridges themselves, but the boxes that the cartridges come in. There's 3 different categories of Evercade carts. So you've got computer gaming, you've got consoles, and you have arcade. So you've got a lot of cartridges out there that are just for arcade. Now, I say a lot. I think there's only, what is there, like 14 or 15, I think, of the actual arcade cartridges themselves. But it was a way to get arcade ROMs out there, and people can play them on their TVs and all that. Well, then we've seen them come out with the Evercade Alpha, which was kind of a shot across the bow to Arcade1Up very specifically. And I gotta say, I had a lot of fun with the Alpha. But let's talk about the 2 items that are recent, the ones that I just unboxed, the Alpha and the EXP-R. Now, I heard, this is one of those industry shills Michael B told me, is that the -R stands for revision. That's okay. It's fine. Okay, if it is, that's kind of lame. I was hoping that the R stood for something else. Not nostalgia, although they did steal his color scheme, but I was hoping the R stood for something else. I don't know. Revision, that's kind of sucks. But there's some things that maybe they can have like a dash something else later, or maybe an EXP2 is coming down the pipe. But revision, okay, it's fine. But as for the handheld itself, basically check out my review if you want a little more in-depth detail, unboxing and all that. I was impressed with the device. The weight of it, the feel of it, and for what you're getting for around $100. I think it's like $127 now, but the pre-order price was like I think it was $100 or $120. It's been so long ago, I don't even know. But so there's let me do that like that. So here's the 2 devices. I was excited about the EXP-R. I think you definitely got to check it out. If you don't own a handheld, buy them. If you don't have the first EXP, this is definitely something you really want to think about getting. If you're already into the Evercade ecosystem, which is kind of the big thing, it's worth it. It's really worth it. And here it is. Here is the beautiful handheld. It does look like a lot of other handhelds. I get it. I know this is pretty powerful. It's got some good weight to it. It doesn't get hot, and it's got a cool color scheme. But one thing I didn't realize back when I was getting, I'm into the I got some of their cartridges, not a bunch, not all of them, but I got the other ones that I like. And Full Void is a game, an indie game that came out, and I was really excited about. And so I got the special edition cartridge. You can see it is like this little turquoise color. What's up, Mike? How the hell are you, buddy? Good to see you. And so it came up with this turquoise color. I thought that was really kind of a cool, kind of a different looking color. But now, having the EXP-R, you can see that the color absolutely matches. Let me get it back here. There you go. So the cartridge color matches the buttons, all the buttons on the front. So it just really just flows. It goes in well it goes in. It just fits in well with it. So I think that looks freaking awesome. I'm not. I refuse, because I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I don't want to do that. I want to take my time. You are a menace and a maniac. So I'm sure you blew through it. But it's absolutely, man. It's such a fun game. I'm sucked into to the ambiance, the mood that it sets, the lack of instructions, like just straight up instructions. Full Void is something, if you haven't played it, give it a chance. I think it's still available on like the PlayStation Store, Nintendo, and everything. You can download it for your modern consoles. But Full Void is it's got this spooky kind of, it's like a spooky kind of aesthetic with the sounds and everything. And it's really not something that, it's just not a long game. But it's a damn good game for sure. And I absolutely love it. I'm taking my time with it. It's just a lot of fun. And a lot of it is just kind of intuitive. You have to figure it out. There's not a little bubble that pops up and tells you what to do. This is turning into a full Void review, I know. But it's not, there's no big fingers telling you do this next and do this next. You kind of have to figure it out. And then the graphics are a little bit, they're like, it's better than 16-bit, but it's similar to that, and fixed camera angles and all that. And you have to just kind of look around for levers and buttons and figure this stuff out. But it's really fun. It's a very, very fun game. It's definitely something you want to play over and over again. So I have it for the Evercade. But if you don't have an Evercade device, I would recommend checking out Full Void if you haven't played it yet. It's and to Brooklyn's point, it's not a very long game, but it is a nice, it's a nice game to just kind of get involved in, You feel the mood. It's pretty cool. So, but beyond that though, and the fact that the cartridge matches perfectly, it's a really cool handheld. But honestly, it's not mind blowing. And what I mean by that is, if it wasn't for the Evercade ecosystem with the cartridges, it would probably be just a solid little device. And that's why I'm glad it's close to $100. If this thing was if they were trying to get $200 out of this, I don't know. That wouldn't, to me, it just wouldn't be worth it in my personal opinion. Let me swap this over, do this over here, right there. Let's go back to here. So there was the EXPR, and then there was also the Evercade Alpha, which was kind of a big surprise for a lot of us. And it's because we were kind of jonesing for Arcade1Up to do something more really across the board, but for the countercade too. They kind of did something. They pushed forward. They had the 2-player, then they regressed to the single player. And we were like, well, what's next? We were asking the same thing about their 3/4 scope cabinets, but all of it, a lot of it. I took my time and tried to find all the secrets. Yeah, I'm finding out that there's actually secrets to be found, and I'm like, oh, okay. You get the little achievements. It's so cool. It's a great game for sure. But yeah, that's so it's anyway. So enough. I'm sorry. It is a great game though, and it's awesome when you find a good game that gets you back into gaming, that really sucks you in and makes you want to finish it for sure. But the Evercade Alpha was something I was very, very happy with, pleasantly surprised. I went all in and got the deluxe version, pre-ordered the deluxe version, and it was awesome. Really liked it. Once again, check out that full unboxing interview if you have any more detailed questions about that. But it was surprising, and it got me thinking. So what's next? Moving forward, pushing forward. They're obviously on track to do something. Evercade is not just sitting there putting out cartridges, which by itself would be great. By itself, just continuing to put out the cartridges would be awesome. Would be epic. Unprecedented. Just like a $5 super chat. This one comes through some Retro Lizards, Custom Arcades. Thank you so much, Joel, for being here. How the hell are you? Is it just me? Or does 19K have the best shirts on stream? Well, you know what? I got to tell you, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, they're okay. They're fine. It's not fine. You're awesome, super chat. Thank you so much for being here, buddy, and your super chat. Got to give you something a little bit special, and here you go.
Expo.
Win! Rookie.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the plug for the t-shirts. Head on over to my Teespring. You can check out some of my designs. I got this one, and I got the new Iron Man. I'm sorry, not metal suit wearing man. Yeah. Metal suit wearing man. Just dropped. It's a cool mashup. I like to do these arcade mashups. So go over there and check that out for sure. Thank you so much for noticing the shirt, buddy. I appreciate it. And also thank you for the tips. So this is another thing that the community does kind of behind the scenes. Joel, the retro lizard, as it were, saw I had a Star Wars cabinet posted. He was like, "Hey, I saw that you had this thing posted. I saw your problem. This is actually what you should try." So I'm actually going to do that, buddy. So I appreciate it as always. Everybody, seeing each other, helping each other out is what the community is really all about, and that's why I'm excited to see what's happening next, what's moving forward. So let's take a closer look at what Evercade has come out with. We got these two options, these two devices here, definitely pushing forward. Once again, Evercade could have simply come out with their Versus set-top box and the original EXP and just keep producing these cartridges. And that would probably keep people satisfied for a long time. And then maybe eventually come out with a different color, console. I think they did that with the EXP. They had the white version, then they had the black version. And then they had the one, which one was, I think it was the original was kind of chunky. So the second generation was all white. It had Capcom games on it. They had a black version if you pre-ordered, but the regular one was just white. Then they came out with this one, and they did remove a feature that I think everybody wanted, and it was the HDMI out. So that kind of sucked. But they were able to kind of drop the price, and the color scheme is a lot better for sure. And it's it's a great looking handheld, but they could have just maybe just left it alone, but they didn't. They decided to go this route and make something that's a little bit more appealing. They knew that they had to get another console out there. They could have just continued to make the same one, but they didn't. They pushed forward. The big surprise for me was definitely the Alpha. The Alpha was something that I didn't think that they would actually do, and then also partnering with Capcom to make this device. A couple of these devices. One was the Mega Man version. One was the Street Fighter version. Was a big surprise, and it wasn't just Street Fighter. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to diminish Street Fighter. Don't get mad at me. But we've seen Street Fighter 97 times from different companies all over. Street Fighter. Wasn't just Street Fighter 2. We actually got the Alpha games. So it was great to see those in a home arcade product. Now we did just get the Capcom Fighting Collection, not the Fighting Collection, but the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection that predated that stuff. And on that collection, you actually did get Alpha and Street Fighter 3. So we've seen those for the home consoles in the release of that game. But this is the first time we saw Alpha on a home arcade device. Here are the dimensions. Here's what you got. It came out with an 8-inch screen, exactly what Arcade1up had. Before they went back to this weird, this newest iteration has the 7-inch 16:9. It's really weird. Really, really kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but this was the 8-inch high resolution, the IPS screen. It was the same one that they used for those. I guess it's the third generation Arcade1ups. The swappable lip marquees is kind of a gimmick. It's fine. But when you have the entire cabinet skin for, in this case, it's Mega Man, putting in a different marquee, it's not going to match the rest of the cabinet. So it makes it a little bit odd. Now on the Street Fighter version that I have, it's more of a big blue skin, but it's still got all the Street Fighter stuff on it. So Street Fighter 2 on it, all the CPO, the bezel and everything. So to just put in like an Alpha marquee, it's fine, but it is kind of a novelty. So I could have done without that, but at least it's easy to swap out. That's fine. I guess if you wanted to reskin it, you could buy artwork from somebody else. So that was fine. If you got the deluxe, which is what I got, you got the competition. You got the competition buttons. So you got the Sanwa buttons. I'm sorry, the competition is the standard. If you got the deluxe, like I got, you got the Sanwa buttons. So not the competition style, which is similar to like what Arcade1up does. These are legit Sanwa buttons. So that was a big deal for sure. And everything else, the sizes. If you saw my video, you know the side-by-side comparison, it's damn near the same size as what Arcade1up did. But the huge thing, the biggest thing of all that, which that was kind of cool, and the included games were cool, but the biggest thing was the incorporation of not only their cartridge, like a single cartridge slot, but the dual cartridge slot, and the addition of my USB type A to USB type A ports on the front for controllers number 1 and number 2. And then a headphone jack. So everything that Arcade1up had done bumped up to the next level. So obviously the cartridges are something that Arcade1up has never done. But Arcade1up did this weird thing, and I don't know why they did this. It was kind of weird. They did this thing with a 2-player counter case where they had a USB port on the side, USB type A, and you could plug into it, and you could play as your second player. But the problem is you already had 2 players, like physical controls for 2 players. So I don't know why they did that. That was like redundant and not necessary at all. So that was kind of weird. And then I couldn't get any controllers to work, like the mapping. Like there was no utility to go in there and map the controls. It was really not good. But with this device, you can absolutely do that. And they actually, the Alpha that I bought, the deluxe version, came with the controller, mapped and ready to go. But there is a utility you can go in and you can actually map the controls to really be whatever you want it to be. So that's awesome. That's nice. And the headphone jack and everything else. So it was definitely, they've already kind of taken it over. They went above and beyond what Arcade1up did, take it to the next step. So what will be the next step? So as we look into the future, as we look into a way that they can kind of push, in some ways they've pushed past Arcade1up, not just with the Alpha, but also with the handhelds. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as far as what Arcade1up has done on the handheld side of the equation. But this thing pretty much exceeded what Arcade1up did, matched them in certain areas, but exceeded them in other areas. So if they were to push this beyond that, if they were to push forward, what could they do? What can they do? What's even possible? So, I mean, as far as this form factor goes, this Alpha form factor, what could you add? Maybe you could go with a 10-inch monitor. You could make Sanwa controls standard, and you could add HDMI out. But beyond that, I mean, they've pretty much got everything else on lockdown. I don't know that you would need more cartridge ports. I think the 2 cartridge ports are great. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that. But maybe a bigger screen. Is there a 10-inch IPS out there that will fit within this bezel? Now, the little square I have is not representative of the actual size of the 10-inch. That's just a square. We know that the actual screen should be a 4x3, so it wouldn't be a true square. But just kind of gives you an idea of, okay, if we go with a little bit bigger, maintain that same, the same overall size, but go with a bigger monitor, maybe you could do that. And then HDMI out is something that they could do that. They had that on their Versus console, but I think that this would probably really take away some of the sales of the Versus, or it could cannibalize some of the sales of the Versus if they added the HDMI out. But for me, I don't know, because those consoles are much cheaper than the Alpha. Now, maybe if you bought the Alpha, there would be no reason to buy the Versus. And that's maybe a fair point, but I don't know that everybody, if you're really wanting something to just be a set-top box, you don't really want this big countercade in your entertainment center. You're going to go for the Versus console anyway. So I think it's something they could have just had as an extra bonus. But beyond that, I don't know what else you could really do with this. I mean, you've got the lip marquee, which is actually swappable. You've got these stereo speakers. Maybe you could change the orientation of the speakers, have them fire forward. A little bit bigger monitor, HDMI, like we talked about before. But you've already got the controller ports. You've already got the headphone jack. I mean, they could maybe add, hey, what's going on, Steve? Great to see you as always, buddy. But that's about all that they could really do. I don't know what else they could really do with this form factor without trying to go and do something else. I mean, that's probably about all. Maybe like I said, maybe Bluetooth, so you can connect with wireless headphones. Perhaps that's just kind of, now we're just dreaming at this point. We're just throwing options at it. You could have more included games. I don't know if we really want a lot of included games, but maybe you could. Maybe the option to actually save your games to it. So if you have the cartridge, it saves it to it. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. That would probably violate all all the reasons why they make you buy the cards. I have no idea. That could be a huge nightmare. But for that small form factor, I'm not sure there's really much else they could really do beyond that. That's pretty much it. Okay, I can think of one more thing. Maybe if you link them for 4-player action, I don't know, or maybe have a true 2-player head-to-head experience if you can have 2 and link these 2 together. So put them back to back and play that way. I'm just spitballing. Like, what else could they do? There are some things, but I don't know that there's much more they can really do with that. It's just my 2 cents. Ichabod Crane says, I, Ichabod Crane. I like my cartridge ports like my razors. 5 slots. Absolutely. Why settle for 2 when 5 is so much better? Or maybe just have 63 slots. Every single cartridge has its own pre-selected slot. I can imagine this giant like USB hub you plug into it, and it's just slots of all the games. Just like it's like this long thing. You just sit it there. I'm ready to go. Possible, but probably not. Oh, John Jay, what are you talking about? Media1Up handheld. We'll talk about them in just 1 second. Yeah, thank you, sir, much for that. In a small form factor, it's already better than the full size. I tend to agree. Like if the question is how can they push that form factor forward, I'm not exactly sure that's going to be it. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is. JR says it's silly. I can't play Namco Collection 1 or 2 on my Versus. And that's also kind of weird, but that I think that goes back to some of the licensing agreements that they've had. Some of the ways they're able to lock down and secure some of these games. Being a cartridge is fine for most of the companies they deal with, but for some reason, Capcom's like, no, it has to be pre-installed on a device. Why? I have no idea. Are they worried about piracy? I guess perhaps they are still putting out console games, so maybe they don't want to, or maybe they can't compete with the physical games that they're offering on current generation consoles. Perhaps. I have no idea. But I do think that maybe, just maybe, when we're talking about this, the recent, or not so recent actually, because they had the Capcom games included on the EXP, that maybe John D had some things to do with all this licensing going on with the Capcom relationship that he has. Perhaps he's been working behind the scenes with Evercade to help them lock down their Capcom licensing. So doesn't that just kind of blow the options kind of wide? You know, and if they're really just kind of get their foot in the door, what better way to signal to the rest of the industry that you're a legit company if you've got Capcom on board? So what else could they possibly do? Who knows? We'll talk about that in just a second. So let's talk about the Evercade, the next Evercade EXP, the EXP2, the EXP-R2, the EXP-RR, the EXP-R.2. I don't know what this next one would be. But if they were to push this form factor forward without physically changing the size of the device, we keep the device the same size. What could they possibly do with this? What could they do? Well, I think that there's some real estate on the front. I got this outlined in white. There's some real estate on the front. You can take that 4x3 or that 4.3 inch screen and you could blow that up and go a little bit bigger. I think you could probably get about a 5-inch 16:9 on this device. The way it sits, you could probably do that. So that would be a good thing for sure. You know, maybe a real glass screen cover instead of this plastic. This is just let me do this here. It's just kind of plastic. It's fine, but you know, it's not. It's okay. It's okay. But I think that they could have done a little bit better with that. And the fact that this thing ships, you know, when you unbox this, there's no like protector over anything. There's no cover. There's no little piece of plastic you get to peel off. There's no sleeve this thing comes in. It's just in the cardboard box. So that's fine. But you can imagine this thing bumping around. It maybe could scratch this little screen. So that's something for sure. But what else could they do with this? Like I said, you can go with the bigger screen. And obviously with that, you could upgrade the processor to run more games. I think that may be a requirement moving forward with their gigacarts, the cartridges that can have more information on them. It's going to require more from them for sure. And then you can bring back HDMI out on this. That's what they could do. That's absolutely what they could do. Bring that back, and then there you go. You got, once again, you've got all the features, all the options of the original. So EXP2, same size. I think the handheld itself is a great size. Just make it, you know, get it like kind of like what the Nintendo did with their Switch with the OLED version. Just fill up this whole thing. So no more bezel and just go as big as you possibly can. Maybe an OLED display. Maybe. I don't know if it's that necessary. When you're talking about 5-inch, you know, a 5-inch screen, I think you're fine with an LCD. I think Sony did that with their Vita, and they had the OLED screen, and that was fine. But with the cost, it just go with the LCD. You know, a little bit drop in quality, but still, for the price, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's not bad if you put ice in it. It's better. Or the Sega CD. Yes, they could do that. They could have a branded switcher. But I want this thing. I want this thing to be crazy. I want it to be like the Sega power strip that you had to buy to accommodate all their power, their AC adapters. And it was like 8 feet long and it said Sega on it. And you had like, that's what I want, a gigantic, huge switcher that you got to like hang on the wall. It's a poster size. and every cartridge goes into its individual slot. Just that, and then a big giant ass cable that plugs into the back, like we're going back in time. Yeah, it's eggnog. It's eggnog. I forgot to buy bourbon today. I know it's something I've never said on the channel. It's not good. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. But it is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's that would be huge, right? That would be nice. Yeah, like I said, we're bumping up to like PlayStation Vita territory. That would be sick. So that'd be that's what it was called. The Fire Hazard 32. That's right. We're gonna burn something down, folks, and it might be your house. Horrible. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I'll drink heavily. If you drink a lot of eggnog, you'll get there. Yeah, it's eggnog. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So yeah, so I think that's probably the most that you can move that thing forward. So this brings me to my point. If this is the latest and greatest right now, it's already pretty good. I don't see how they could take these two form factors and really push it beyond. I don't know that I could do that. So what's next? Could we see Evercade finally jump into the big boy side of the equation? The big boy market, the 3/4 scale. Is it possible? If they've already got, and I'm just speculating, if they've had some interactions with John D, CEO, founder of Media1Up, to help acquire some of the licensing, and they're obviously now in more of the hardware business. Is Evercade the next company that's going to bring out something bigger, better? Now, if it is bigger, judging by what they've done in the past, I can't necessarily see how it wouldn't be better moving it forward. And I don't know that Evercade would do it if they couldn't maybe move it forward and be better and do better, do more. Now, I mean, would a stand-up version of this thing, maybe like a 3/4 size with some cartridge slots, would that do it for you? I think that'd be pretty cool when you consider what they have and when you consider the cartridges that are available. So the expandability of it. It's a big risk. And I don't want to take light of that. Any company that tries to get into the hardware side, when you're talking about big hardware, like we're talking about, there's a risk to be had there. Is it just a singular Evercade branded device? Is it going to have Capcom pre-installed on it? How would that work? Would they go in a completely different direction and swing for the fences and go full size? Would they do like a big bar top? Maybe instead of the countercade, now we move to a bar top with a 17-inch monitor, similar to what we've seen in other companies before. I don't know, but Evercade is definitely, listen, no matter what you think, you have to agree that they are on the right track, and the stuff they're putting out is absolutely great. It's awesome. And, listen, if having another company that puts out great stuff, better than what Arcade1up did in the past, if that's really going on, if that's our reality, well, then reality, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so moving on to other stuff like Unico. Who better to address it? Who better to talk about it than not this Unico shield, but the Unico representative, Jay Mason's in the chat. $2. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Always appreciate the support of the channel. What else does the community want besides new 19-inch? That's what we're going to find out tonight. Well, hopefully. We're going to try to find that out. The poll question is up. Everybody vote on the poll question, asking you, what does a company need to bring to market to have the most impact right now? Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Always appreciate you being here. Got to give you something. What is it? Does he need that one? That one? You know what? Let me give you this one. Here you go. So yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking too. A full-size machine with an Evercade cart slot would be cool, although I already built one of those. Would like to see Intech. And this is, I'm with you because I built that Sega Genesis cab that I really liked. But unfortunately, they all have to go at some point, right? Intech work with Blaze to make a deck that works with their existing products. That's a great stopgap. But it still requires somebody to own an Arcade1up, which is fair. Arcade1up is out there. There's a lot of smaller cabinets out there. If they work with a different generation, then maybe they could definitely, they could maybe make something like that. But it would require something else. I'd like to see them. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's a good idea. But I would like to see them come out with something that they don't need to rely on any other device, But still, an Intech deck would not be a bad idea. But then you're requiring people to buy the Intech deck, and then they have to buy an Arcade1Up, and it would just be cool to have them maybe jump out and do something different, or maybe not do something different. Do something that Arcade1Up is doing, but do it better. Do it better. That's what I would like to see. I would love to see their take on it for sure. Another company where I like to see their take on, I like to see what they're doing so far, is Unico. Unico is not just, and we're talking about hardware, we're talking about stuff that people are doing, handhelds in the example of Evercade. Unico. Now, see, here, this is what's funny. Evercade comes out with cartridges and small devices. The Versus, the handheld, they improve the handheld, then they come out with this little counter cage. So they're starting small, working up. Unico swung big, and they kind of started in the middle with the 3/4. So you got the awesome MVSX. Then they go and make the Nova Blast, which is wide open. That's full size. That's the full size candy kit. Now they've regressed, but not regressed, but now they're jumping to the smaller side of the equation, and they've got this. They've got the handheld. Now, I'm on record as saying I wish they would have done something better with the color scheme. I would have loved to see the 4-button layout. Maybe get rid of the one analog stick and just have have just the buttons on the side. That being said, they're not sitting around waiting on something else to sell. They're not just waiting on Nova Blast. They're pushing forward. They're dipping their toes into the handheld segment. It's a pretty big device, and it's taking, now we've talked about this a little bit, but it's taking full stage. If you go over to the website, the MVSX website, you can see the Unico Pocket there on full display. It's got a full spread. All the details are there. And there's a big push to get this thing out there. If you click on the device that you want and check it out, now this is the light gray version. They got the dark gray version, the black version. This is it gives you kind of the rundown. It's still $79, so that's $10 off. And I think they were doing free shipping during Black Friday. Jay, are you still doing free shipping? Let us know about that. The Unico Pocket is shipping later this month. There we go. And so we're talking the Pocket 19-inch coming your way. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. 19K Unico Pocket coming your way for you. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that. That would be awesome. That'd be absolutely incredible. But they got the Pocket front and center. There's a big push. They're really putting all their weight behind this. And it's $79. Like I said, let me know if, Jay, if you're still in the chat, let me know if the shipping is still going to be free. Here's the dimensions. So, of course, they give it to us in millimeters. Millimeters? What the hell is that? Millimeters? Just go listen, just because it's easier to remember and makes sense. Okay. I like my imperial freaking measurements. Okay. With all our 5/16 and 8/32, or well, that's not 8/32. That's actually 4/16. Anyway, besides the point. Moving forward, this is going to be great. Obviously, your sizes, the overall dimensions of the device are going to be 6.14 inches wide. It's a little over 6 inches wide. It's 3 inches tall, and it's a little over a ½ inch thick. So not too thick. It's running Linux as an OS. SNK games. You're going to have 40 games on it. And it's a 4-inch IPS display, very much like the 4x3, right? So Unico, we've talked about it. We've covered what they've done with all the with the full size. I think they kind of hit a home run with the MVSX, the 3/4 size. That was really good. And so I think the jury's still out on some of the Nova Blast. The what I've seen. The responses I'm getting is that there was like one person that had some damage to their device. It's pretty damn good. And now there may be a few more out there that have had bumps and scratches. And I think there were 2 people. One guy told me he had a cracked bezel, the Lexan bezel. That was a replacement was shipped out pretty quick. There was another email I got. Somebody had a few dents in the actual bar top itself. But beyond those 2 reports, that's all I've heard as far as shipping is concerned. When you compare that to ad games, they're having some real problems. I saw a poor guy who actually bought 2 4K machines from Kohl's, and the damage was so severe he just gave up and just gave it back. And he said, "Listen, I'm done. I'm just going to stick with full size pinball machines." And I think he's even got his SSF kit on sale now, still in boxes. Or he's got it listed on Facebook, trying to sell it, which is a damn shame. I hate to see that. Hate to see that for sure. Hey, we got a 99-cent super chat sticker. Didn't even say anything. Didn't say a word. Just wanted to drop some 99 cents, and I appreciate it. Every cent. Listen, the lack of cents I have, I need all the help I can get.
Game's over. Time to call it quits.
And dropping 99 cents for the shipping. Yes, shipping is still free for USA and Canada. Awesome. So $79, free shipping. I think it's worth a shot if you're an SNK fan. Hopefully the next one will be red. Crazy ass red. That would be awesome. Crazy ass red. So that's what Unico's doing. So once again, Unico, they've done the 3/4, they've done the full size, now they're doing the pocket. So they're once again a company that's not just sitting on the rolls. Now, is this going to be any good? I don't know. I hope to review it and check it out. I can't wait to get my hands on it and see. But these are companies that are not, while some are just slacking. And we're picking on Arcade1up because they were the leader in the segment for a while. While they have slacked off, and a lot of us have been kind of discouraged by that, I'm just here to tell you, listen, it's not gloom and doom. Maybe for a company that doesn't want to push forward, but there's a lot of other competition out there, and they are pushing forward, and they're doing something that's exciting. And I'm excited to see what others are doing. Media1Up, maybe, for sure. But that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. But yeah, thank you for the 99-cent super chat for the shipping. That is also free. So I guess that 99 cents go right in my pocket. Gotcha. Got you. That was just hurtful. That was just mean hurtful. So comparison. So a comparison to all this other stuff is Arcade1up standing in direct comparison or contrast to what's been going on. So at one point, remember, they were the king of the form factors. They had 15 different form factors going on at one time. XLs, 3/4, deluxes, countercades, partycades, collectorcades, couchcades, projectorcades, anything with a cade, they had it. And they really kind of came out the gate trying everything, but only excelling in a few different areas. If you notice that, they really only pushed hard in a few areas. The rest of the stuff was just throwing crap out there. Just throw it out there. See what sticks. So where are we at today? Some of those form factors are still there. You can still find, of course, they got the infinity game tables, and they got some of the cocktail tables and all that. But this is where we're at as far as the upright arcade games are concerned. As of right now, you can get the classic for $2.99. You can get the deluxe, which ranges from the X-Men 97 sort of tie-in to the Slim Katie, to the Crane game for $4. So there's a lot that fits in that $4.99 deluxe, moniker. But then you still got the weird things they're doing out there now. You got the deluxe. I'm going to call it the deluxe plus because I don't know what the hell how they justify the $5.99 on this, but still call it a deluxe. I don't know. So they got the deluxe plus sticking out there for $5.99. You still have the only representative of the deluxe plus, which is Time Crisis at $6.50. It's listed for $7.50 on their website, but as soon as you click the link and you go to Amazon, it's $6.50. It's $6.50. And then, of course, they still had one XL hanging on out there, kind of, sort of, Costco exclusive, but not easy to find on the Costco website. $630 for the mashup cab that nobody wanted. And that is the abomination that is Midway Golden Tea Vomit. Is what that is. Is what that is. That's just not good. But that's it. I mean, that's where we're at right now. This is what they're limited to. The newest game is still Time Crisis, as far as, most recent game, most dedicated cabinet for a game. That's going to be it. And for me, the guns just didn't do it justice. They didn't push anything forward other than the price. They definitely did that. While the cabinet shape was good, keeping those proportions right really pushed everything down low. So you can see, this is almost just not necessarily to scale, but if you look at the Buck Hunter and the Time Crisis next to each other, the location of the monitor is all just out of whack. It just is, because they were trying to keep the proportions correct. And I applaud them for that, but it really just kind of messes with the orientation of the monitor, the location of the monitor on a cabinet that's already pretty low. It's already pretty small. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so you got that. Hey, we got another super chat, $2. Jay Mason, bring me on the show. Chat to the community. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. And here you go.
Wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Jay, we're gonna have to do that. But I want that to be its own show. I want that to be its own show. We can bring up some of the stuff you're talking about now with the new products and talk to the community directly. I think it's a great idea. Let's do that. But I don't want to squeeze you in at the last minute, and then I got to go to another stream. I don't want to give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I think we can do better than that. So, Jay, if you're willing, community, if you're willing, we did an interview last time, but that was for members only. I think I want to open it up to everybody. I think that's cool. I think you're absolutely right. We need to talk to the community. We need to see what everybody's thinking about, what they're feeling, and talk directly to Unico to get some ideas. So, Jay, I would love to take you up on that. We got Gallagher. Do it. Let's we'll do this live right now. We'll try to schedule this next week. You want to do it next Sunday, and this week's show will be featuring Unico. And it won't be just the after show. It'll be everybody. So it'll be the show, this week's show will be Unico, and we can talk directly to everybody. No membership required. Everybody can ask questions, and we can do an hour, and we can just talk about spitball ideas, craziness. Everybody can talk. We can do maybe a couple poll questions. I think it'll be fun. And we won't do just a members only thing. Okay, awesome. We got an okay. We got a can do. So we will schedule this, guys. Awesome. Next week, we got something to look forward to. Absolutely. So my point with Arcade1up is that if they really wanted to continue to push this form factor forward, I think a lot of you agree that XLs was the way to go. So if I was to vote in this poll, while full size would be incredible, I think full size pricing would hurt. So I think the best way they can make a big impact is to go with an XL. An XL form factor that they made, but we came up with the XL. The community called it an XL. Exactly. This week in Unico. Live next Sunday night. That's right. We'll do it. I think so. Actually, the bromance has been going on for quite some time, hasn't it, Jay? That's it. It is what it is. But here is the XL lineup. Everything that they ever built, no one's really kind of come close to this as far as this size overall. You know, we've had stuff like the Unico have it rocking a 26-inch, kind of surpasses this. The Nova Blast goes beyond this. But to be this size, not just a 19-inch screen, but the overall size, Arcade1up was the only one to really do it at this size and at this scale. I know there's only 5 cabinets on here, but still, that was 5 cabinets more than most any other company has really done. And yes, I'm including the Abomination cabinet as part of this equation because it technically is one of the XLs. So this is all that they did, and I think that people were clamoring for more. Now, what's really, really mind-blowing, and this just kills me, is that the fighting cab in all this was the one that was the most exclusive at $1,000. Okay, JJ. Where does Tron fall in XL, XL Plus, or Deluxe cab? Size cab. That's not an XL. Tron was just a 3/4 scale. It had a riser, 17-inch monitor. That would just be a at that price. The price would make that they would probably be calling that a Deluxe Plus at $599. That's what that would be. So of all these, you would think the fighting game would be the most, I guess, besides Pac-Man, would be the slam dunk. But they only made one fighting cab in the XL, and they made it a freaking pro at $1,000, and nobody could buy it. Most people couldn't afford it, or they thought that $1,000 was simply way too much. Way too much. And I agree. Now, they did make the prototype, the Street Fighter prototype in the XL form factor, and I thought that was probably what they should have led with. It's the most obvious, really. That or Mortal Kombat. And the fact that they didn't just take this exact form factor and just make a Mortal Kombat without all the pro features, just make a Mortal Kombat version of that, still to this day blows my mind. Now, maybe the sales were not there. And that's where we as consumers got to think about. We got to realize that there's a big financial risk to some of these companies coming out. So while I say the XL, I think, is the perfect sweet spot, the XL is where you really want to, I think, that's going to make the biggest impact, in my opinion. It's the perfect combination of people wanting something small they can have in their house, but still get the arcade experience. I think the XL gets you there better than 3/4, even though I've loved 3/4. And I'll say it, I've enjoyed 3/4. I still have some 3/4. They're way in the back. Mystery Encoder, they're way in the back. But when you come into the arcade, they are the first thing you see. Think about that. Oh, you gotcha. But yeah, I like 3/4 scale. But honestly, if you're going to have a couple real cabs, the XLs look better next to a real cab. And the XLs are a little more spacious. They feel better, in my opinion. As far as they are, I think, the best balance. Because remember, these are compromised machines. I think that the XL is the best compromise. So while this is all that they ever did, it's very sad because they should have done a whole hell of a lot more. And I mean, that's what they should have definitely gone big, even though some companies like, New Wave Toys are going smaller. I had to use tweezers. This is so cool. I wanted to play this because New Wave Toys, they came up with the cigarette machine. There's not really much to talk about other than I thought this was so silly and cool. I just thought that was great. A little bit. So I got them over there, and Barbie is, she's jonesing for a smoke, but unfortunately, she's plastic. And she doesn't have lungs, and that's not a real lighter. So, but I guess a plastic cigarette for a plastic doll, I guess, makes sense, right? But yeah, so I think that unfortunately, Arcade1up is probably settling into a Pac-Man company, and that's about it. And that's fine. I think they've definitely had a decent run. But now it's time for somebody to come out swinging. Now, is Media1Up going to be that company? I don't know. But I've heard some stuff. They're not officially at CES, but I don't think that means that they won't be in Vegas. Who knows? Anything could happen. But I do know that we know that John D is definitely working with Unico. He was at the booth. He was at IAPA down in Florida this month or last month. He most likely was working with Evercade to help them with the licensing. We also know that SNK works with Unico. We also know that Evercade just secured some licensing with SNK. So they're also bringing some games over. So you see a lot of companies working together. Almost like maybe an alliance, Maybe like, I don't know, an Illuminati? Weird. What really is weird? Look at that.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yes, unfortunately, it is that time. We got to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But before we go, I want to remind all my members to stay right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to the after show where we shoot the stuff. We say bad words and we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight for sure. And before we go, we got to talk about the poll question. That's right. What did everybody vote? How did you vote? Let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead. 145 votes. Good job, guys. Nice job. But the poll question was simply this: what does Media1Up or any home arcade company need to bring to market to make the most impact? Going to let it go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's kick it. Let's do that. And let me do that. And boom. Okay, I just saved the picture. Nice. So coming in fourth place is the bar top. I think we all kind of knew that. Bar top, 7% of the vote. I get it. I think that's. I had to throw it in there for just in case, right? Because I had to have 4 options. Coming in third place is 3/4. Maybe 3/4 is kind of burned out, played out. Only 20% of the vote went to the 3/4 scale size. So who took home the prize? What's the gold medal? And it's XL. You agree with me that XL is going to be the better way to go. XL coming in with 46% of the vote. Full size following actually pretty far behind it with only 26%. So almost a majority of the entire vote was for XL form factor. XL size seems to be the way to go. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this on the replay, because I think that's the way to go. And if a company comes out with something in the XL form factor, that's one good thing. But this is always going to be the thing. The second thing is always this thing that's it's plagued Arcade1Up and everybody else. And it is the games. It is the licensing. It's got to be something. I don't care how great the cabinet is. It's got to have something worth playing in it before I'm going to buy it. But that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. We're getting close to Christmas, so everybody just, cross your fingers, be extra safe, get through the next couple weeks so that we can have, like the last week or 2 of the year to just chill out, relax, and have a lot of live streams and talk about home arcade and what's coming in the future. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. You have a blessed day, have a blessed weekend. I'm going to see all of you right back here next time. Peace.